Want to buy a fixer-upper? Wondering what it takes to do so? What all this means to you? All that and more, and quickly, because I just found my REM's Greatest Hits album, and it's going to be a pretty spicy evening. Stay tuned, this is Vasilios, and you're watching Fastlane. If this is the first time on this channel and you want to get the latest actionable tips from a local realtor that actually save you time, save you money, and result in a smooth real estate deal, give us a like, hit the subscription button below, and smack the bell icon so you don't miss any content. Now, onto it. First time buyers, is it worth the trouble of buying a fixer-upper? It may need a certain amount of work, ranging from cosmetics all the way to major renovations. Well, fixer-uppers are generally priced less than your average home in your market at that time. It's an economical way to gain access into the prestigious home ownership club. Now, there are pros and cons to buying a fixer-upper, but is it all it's cracked up to be? Let's dive in. So off the bat, especially in this market, fixer-uppers tend to be cheaper. So going this route may allow you to afford a home in that area you normally wouldn't be able to afford. In this seller's market, prices are so inflated, it may be difficult to afford that home that you really want. So getting into a fixer-upper that is slightly undervalued is a great smart way to get into home ownership. However, with cheaper properties, the flip side is, see what I did there? No? Okay. The flip side is there's always work to be done. Now, the potential value of all this depends on your skill and how much work there really is to be done. And let's not forget your budget. More on that later. But buying a fixer-upper, you might be able to get you in a home in a location you otherwise may not have been able to afford. So the idea financially on the onset seems great. So some of the big advantages of buying a cheaper home, more specifically a fixer-upper, is that you're buying it undervalued, generally. And by rehabbing or renovating your property, or through that process, you will add value, which in turn adds equity, which increases your future sales price, if you look at it from an investment point of view. Real estate investors like to call this sweat equity. The downside is to this, you may not know the true cost of the renovations till you break ground. Once the layers are pulled back, then you're able to fully realize the scope of the project. There's always a blind side to this potential, however. Another positive of purchasing a home that is a fixer-upper is that you have the ability to plan and design your home and make it exactly the way you want. You have the ability to turn your vision into reality. Now, you're not buying a property that is overvalued and you can't justify making it your own because of the costs and having it be worth all the effort. Having a fixer-upper that needs improvements gives you the opportunity to make it your own. The downside to this process is you really need to manage your money tightly. Watch your spending. Having proper plans and some extra funds set aside is a smart way to do this properly without getting into too much trouble. Updates and renovations always tend to go over budget. When it comes to planning, there is a number of different ways you can accomplish this. The first step is to have an inspection or call a contractor to give you bids and quotes, or to have your property surveyed. This gives you the best lay of the land and the most options from the proper professionals. The most options, the broader scope you have of what needs to be done, giving you all the information to make the best possible choice for you and your money. When it comes to planning, there are a few steps you need to mull over before making these big decisions. The first step in planning, you need to decide what actual form you want your home to be. What will its purpose be? Physically, do you have to take out walls, add walls, literally the actual form? Your vision, what is its actual shape? Also, what aesthetic does it have? Are you country chic, modern, real estate renaissance, whatever? Use your hired professionals such as your surveyor, inspector, contractor to create a plan and figure out the form of your vision. After you have a concept of your form, what is its function? What do you want the function of your renovation to be? This is where form meets function. Obviously, if you're talking about a kitchen, what purpose do you want it to serve? The basics, yeah. But do you want a large center island to entertain? Do you want a step-down dining room that can be sectioned off with bifold doors or a slider? Do you want the kitchen bigger? Do you need to knock down a wall for a more expansive living room to entertain your family during the holidays? Do you want a larger master bedroom? Is it large enough for a king-size bed and to house a walk-in closet? Does your current space provide for this function, or do you need to incorporate this? When you have a general idea of what you want the function and form to be of your renovation, you need to spend some time envisioning the future. What does your vision look like? How does it fit the form and the function? How will you best spend your time in this space? And also, how does it fit into your equation? Do you want to entertain mostly? Are you interested in a large open deck with a built-in hot tub? Does your vision see yourself outside in the fall, drinking some home brew, watching the game, outside in your dad oasis? You need to get specific. What is important to you and what do you see in your mind? What is your goal vision of your renovation and of your property? Now, financially, it may be more difficult to get a mortgage for a fixer-upper if the property needs extensive renovations. You may have to get creative with your lending, so talk to a lending broker to find out all your options. Now, in terms of timing or budget, you don't have to get your entire renovation done in 2 months. This all comes down to planning. This could be a 5 or 8 year plan to renovate your entire house. Setting a budget, a planned time, and a financial budget, and sticking to it as best as you can. But budgets are made to be blown. Allow for financial and time buffer. Also, are you able to live in the property while the renovation is commencing? Will you have to add a short-term rental into your budget? The renovation process needs to be thought out as a journey, not a race. Otherwise, your budget will surely be blown. After creating a budget, you need to start thinking about the execution of your plan. A good way to think about this is in phases of execution. Planning your phases logically will help you effectively plan your budget and time. Major property systems like roof, heating system, or major plumbing impact the whole use of the property. These systems and basic maintenance need to be addressed first. Would it make sense to renovate 1 bathroom at a time if your rehab has 2.5 baths, especially if you have to run new plumbing throughout the house? It would make sense to accomplish all the bathrooms at the same time. Another way to look at this would be if your entire first floor needs new flooring. Would you rather floor the entire level of that property at once or accomplish this room by room? It would be more costly dividing this out into separate jobs. And what about the materials themselves? They may not match, even though you're trying to get the same product. Often, different installers would produce different results. So it's wise to think about your renovation in phases. If you're able to refloor the entire first floor of your home in a nice dark oak plank flooring throughout in one shot, that would be the most logical, budget-friendly, and efficient use of time. So prioritizing each phase of your reno is an important step in getting to your vision and your goals with your new fixer-upper home. At the end of the day, it is a balance of wants, needs, functionality, sanity, and vision. It's really up to you to decide what is farther up on the importance scale. It's a rewarding process, but not without its own level of stress and reward. Now, if you like this video, then check out these at the top of your screen. And if you need a guy like me, I have a guy like me's info in the description below. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.